Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu5. Some of you may have already seen this video that you're about to see in this upload. This is an updated upload. Not really a new upload. I'm just adding this intro in to kind of put things into perspective. I did a review over these Leatherman Raptor medical shears, and I go into detail in the video talking about why I got them, or actually why my brother got them for me. And it's for fishing, saltwater fishing or paddling line out with a kayak. I've been in a kayak that's flipped a few times, and I don't want the big hook snagging me and potentially drowning me. So my brother got me these medical shears to cut the steel leader that's close to the hook, so hopefully I won't drown. And in this video you're going to see a demo of these shears cutting through that steel leader. And the first couple of times I was cutting really well, but a little bit later me and my brother were examining these scissors and trying to cut the the leader again, and we noticed that the edge had damage and they weren't cutting as well, and they were significantly less effective at cutting. My brother, being the edgeologist that he is, sharpened the scissors, he tightened up the pivot, and they're cutting fabric and stuff pretty well. I don't really have any fabric nearby that I'm really willing to cut, but they will cut, clothes, and they will cut, shoes and stuff. You got a safety cutter right here for other stuff. Something interesting, they don't cut, or they didn't cut paracord that well. But they cut clothes well and stuff like that. But I wanted to make this intro video talking about that they can cut steel leaders on fishing equipment or fishing line. And in this video you're going to see my fishing setup for sharks and reds, and you'll have a better appreciation for the stuff that I'm dealing with and what I'm trying to cut with this shear. Because it's really quite a hardcore rig, but I still feel if I'm in the water and I need to cut the leader, I still think I can do it with this, as long as I'm not just cutting things with it on a daily basis. If it's just for that emergency situation, I think it'll work. But I did not want to misrepresent these shears, because they did take damage after repeated cutting of steel leaders, and so I wanted to make this intro. Please enjoy the video, and just keep in mind that these scissors did take a little bit of damage after repeatedly cutting cutting steel leaders that I used to fish for sharks with. Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu5. Two things you're looking at. One is my Leatherman Raptor medical shears, and two, my saltwater tackle box or tackle bag. Doesn't look that impressive. It's kind of flat, doesn't have a wide variety of things, but usually when I'm saltwater fishing I'm doing a very specific thing, and that's surf fishing. And for those of you who don't know what surf fishing is, that's basically getting a line on the beach and paddling it out, taking that out on a drone, or possibly even wading out and casting it and bringing it back to the beach and just fishing off the beach for big game. And when I say big game, the things I'm normally targeting are sharks and bull reds. And so that's pretty big fish in my opinion. I've never caught anything bigger than a shark or a red. To show you a picture of the biggest red I've ever seen, this is my dad's fish, and unfortunately I was not there to experience it, but luckily he had a guy to take a picture. That is a big fish. He's 6'2", so that's a big fish. Anyways, back to the video. This is my saltwater setup. And the reason why I got these shears, actually my brother got them for me, was for a very specific purpose. And that is if I get tangled up in the line or leader, and I'll show you what a leader is here soon, I can actually cut that steel leader and not possibly drown and get tangled up. That's the hopes of this product. It was designed for medical uses, in case someone gets in a car crash, or for EMTs, and it has a rescue hook on it, a glass breaker, a ring cutter, and I think an oxygen wrench. But I got it specifically for, let's see if I can get this out. This. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. That's a pretty big hook. Obviously, in this testing video, I'm not going to cut the hook. That would be ridiculous. Can it cut the hook? Possibly. But I don't want to intentionally break these shears. But what I'm referring to as a leader, some of you might not be into big game fishing, is this steel leader right here. And I don't think it's going to focus on that. Yeah, there it goes. There's the steel leader, and you have a little bit of plastic monofilament on it as well. With my Pacific Salt or Spectacled Warrior, or any knife that I'm going to go in the ocean with, it'll probably cut this monofilament pretty easily. But the thing is, you might not have the ability or the luxury of cutting this plastic leader, and the hook is closest to the steel leader, so you'll probably be able to find the hook on you, and so the steel leader is probably going to be the thing most accessible for you to cut. So this is kind of a test video. That didn't work as like I planned. I thought I was going to flip it out like a switchblade, but these are designed to cut really hardcore things. You got ring cutters right there, and this, and I know this isn't focus. There it goes, at focus. These are meant to cut pretty hardcore things, clothing, and possibly I don't know what else. But I need to know if these scissors are going to work. I got the leaders right here, and if you want to look at the hook again, yes, I seriously use that hook. This hook's on the bigger side for me. Now I can't tell you what size it is. I don't think I have the card on me, but it's from Bloodline Tackle. Bloodline Tackle is where I buy all of my leaders and hooks, pre-assembled. You can get custom leaders, and I like his stuff so far. And this is kind of the bigger hook. If I'm going to use a bait cannon, which my dad likes to use the bait cannon, and I think I have a video on YouTube about that bait cannon. We'll use a smaller hook, but this, if we're paddling it out with a kayak, this is the hook we're normally using. So, let's get started. First off, I don't want to use the ring cutters. Get that to focus in, because that would be difficult to maneuver in the ocean. But, so I'm not going to try that, but I am going to put the steel leader in this, I think, 420 HC blade, if I'm correct. I'm not entirely sure. But I'm going to try to cut this, and if this works, then I have a safety tool that I can put on my life jacket that I can possibly use when paddling out. We've already taken this out to the ocean. You can probably see a little bit of rust on it, but we haven't tested it, and I'd feel a lot safer if we tested it. So without further more to do, let's test it. That was effortless. It really was. One more time. That, I mean, I don't know if you ever cut pennies with sewing scissors. Not saying you should do that, because that is a big no-no with sewing scissors. But it was pretty easy. I would say cutting, if cutting pennies with sewing scissors is more difficult than this, I'd say it's a little bit more like cutting a dime, maybe. But it really is effortless. Now, let's examine the edge. and I'll try to get this to focus in. That looks flawless. Yeah, that edge is just fine. That will do, pig. That will do. Quoting Homer Simpson. To a movie that I've never actually seen in completion. But yeah, I guess we'll call this a test and review. It passed the test with flying colors. And it has a sheath, but I don't normally use the sheath. I usually just use the pocket clip, put it on my life jacket, and that's what we have in case something bad happens. I did legitimately use the gut hook or safety cutter. I zip tied my surf rods to the cargo rack of my Jeep. Instead of getting my knife out, I just pulled this out and cut those zip ties. It was flawless. It was easy, and it was a pleasure to use. And I'm not going to test the glass breaker because I already have a glass breaking knife in my visor, and so I probably wouldn't have these on me if I saw a wreck, but they would work for that. So that's it. Again, to kind of show you how big the leader is, there it is. And the kind of fish we catch on this is reds all the way up to... I've never actually caught a bull shark, but we did hook a bull shark once, and it got loose. But the bull shark is probably going to be the biggest thing that we encounter, that or a hammerhead shark. But I've caught black tips, I caught reds, my daddy caught that huge red, and that's it. I'm a Satsu 5, and I'm out.